funnily enough, identity politics is a threat especially to actors. And on Monday, Australian actor Guy Pearce sure learned that the hard way, because he pushed back on identity politics and on Twitter, and that's two danger signs right there. And now Pearce is the straight guy, okay? He's the straight guy who played a drag queen in Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. And on Twitter, he had a question for activists saying that only transgender actors could play transgender people. Pearce asked an important question. If the only people allowed to play trans characters are trans folks, then are we also suggesting the only people that trans folks can play are trans characters? And surely that would limit your career as an actor, because isn't the point of an actor to be able to play anyone outside your own world? Anyone. Now, the blowback was savage, as it usually is on Twitter, and especially on a transgender issue. And Pearce has since deleted that tweet and said, I posted a tweet yesterday I shouldn't have, which is to prevent upsetting anyone else. I've now deleted it. And a fuller apology and explanation of the point it was raising is attached. Love, Guy. And what is interesting and brave is that Pearce, in that longer explanation of his point, actually stuck to his argument and simply explained it more fully. Joining me is Sal Grover. She was a Hollywood scriptwriter, is now here as head of a female-only chat group called Giggle that goes that extra mile to be safe for women. But of course, doing that has made her a target of some transgender extremists herself. Sal Grover, lovely to talk to you again. Is Guy Pearce right that any actor should be free to play any role at all if they can carry it off? Because the whole point of acting is to imagine yourself as a different person.
He's right to a point, but I actually think that he's raised a really interesting question that has greater implications for society, because at the moment we're actually all being told that trans women are women, no debate, accept that, or you're a bigot. But there's a huge chance that audiences won't accept a man playing the role of a woman in a movie, but we're expected to accept that in real life. And I think the reason the trans activists don't want questions like this asked is because the answer to it destroys their ideology in a second.
And of course, a film studio can be forced to put cast the character, the transgender person, in a role, but they then have to wear the price if that portrayal doesn't fly. And that makes a difference, doesn't it?
Well, it definitely does. I mean, first of all, like for any movie or TV show to be made, I mean, the actor has to be someone known that people are going to watch. That's how they get funding for it. So if you're just not a famous actor, you don't have the bankability to get things made. That's just the first hurdle. It has nothing to do with, whether you're trans or not. I mean, he's right that there's a chance that it could be limiting. But I mean, there's all sorts of issues that are coming out with this. I mean, Elliot Page, who's an actor, whichever way you want to look at it. I mean, do we have to look back on this individual's whole filmography as a man? Because it makes like films like Juno about teen pregnancy into incredibly avant-garde films.
But what if the argument, Sal, that if a straight man plays a transgender person, then that transgender actor, and for the kind of reasons you're mentioning, they will lose that job, but they don't get many other chances, you see. As you say, what are the odds of them being able to play a straight role, for instance?
Well, I mean, the reality is that, who you are in your regular life actually shouldn't matter when you're acting. I mean, there's so many movies that, the actor has absolutely nothing in common with the person that they're playing. I mean, even you think like actors play real life people, they're not them. I mean, would Erin Brokovich be a better film if it was Erin Brokovich playing it rather than Julia Roberts, And so it is about acting. And if you are a male person, even if you identify as a woman, whatever that means in your regular life, you can play other male roles if you want, but that's going to be up to you if you want to have that career, because just no one on screen is going to accept a male person as playing a woman.
And yet, the rules seem to be so different elsewhere, right? Because you're now seeing, of course, in some series in Britain, there's one of Great Expectation about to be screened on BBC. There was another one of another Dickens adaptation where you've got black characters black actors playing what Dickens wrote as white characters. So I'm not quite sure how the rules all work, but I'll have to get you back to pick through that later. Sal Grover, lovely to catch up with you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Andrew.